Heyo everyone, my name is Jared,
And I'm Isaac.
and welcome to the latest episode of the Nonsense Double Feature. I think this is episode like 4 or 5.
Pretty sure it's 5.
5? Okay, welcome to episode 5. It hasn't been too long. We've been able to record this pretty recently to our last one, so we're feeling good here. And we're gonna jump right into our first segment here. We're gonna skip a little intro time and just go right into our first movie, which is of course the brand new release by the great Ryan Coogler, and that would be Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. Isaac, why don't you start it off here? What'd you think?
Oh, I was so excited for this movie when I saw the trailers because obviously I'm down for like high concept original films. I guess this one's not too high concept, but just like someone going for like a bold and audacious original film is always going to be fun. And it's from Ryan Coogler, and I love his Black Panther films. I feel like they have like a lot of heart. So I was really excited to see it was also about vampires, and I was just blown away because it was so much that I wasn't expecting either.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. I also love his Black Panther films. I really like Wakanda Forever. I think the first Black Panther film is pretty good, but I think Wakanda Forever is awesome. I'm a big fan of some Namor comics, and I think the way he handled Namor was awesome, and so that made me pretty excited for all of his movies in the future. I haven't seen Fruitvale Station, unfortunately, but everyone tells me that movie is great, so I got to get around to that. But I was super excited for Sinners, and I loved it. I thought I think it's one of the best movies of the decade so far. I put it at like 9 or 10 of the 2020s, and like you said, his Black Panther films have heart, and this film has just an incredible amount of heart and soul and passion into it. And on top of that, it's just got a lot of fun crap. Like it's got vampires doing awesome stuff. It's got Michael B. Jordan playing twins. And I like to say Michael B. Jordan went to the Tom Hardy school of accents here because it is a Southern accent, but it's a very like silly movie Southern accent, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think everybody was really committed to the Southern accents. I thought was very funny, and then Jack O'Connell as like the lead vampire was like
Yeah,
very Irish,
I
and
I
so I think
enjoyed
like that was funny.
I enjoyed how his Irish accent came in and out at times. Like there were times where he was a lot more strong with it, and then times where he was talking, he'd kind of sound just like American.
Yeah, like as like the more like I guess like the louder he got and like the more angry he got, the more Irish he sounded. like
Absolutely.
I watched it. I've watched it twice now. And the second time I took my friend, and my friend said he really liked how there's. I think he does it twice, but Remick, played by Jack O'Connell, says like "Sammy" whenever he like attacks
Yeah,
Sammy at the
yeah.
end, and so that's like the way he just screams that
It's
sounds really Irish, and it's so funny.
he says that right when I think they're like about to escape out of the attic in the
Yeah, they're like going out that like
yeah,
top door.
they open
Yeah,
that door and he comes in. It's just Sammy. And, yeah,
Sammy with
he's
his.
Jack O'Connell is
Oh my god.
great in this film. But like I said before, this is without a doubt one of the best films of the decade, and I think for a lesser storyteller, someone who doesn't understand history as well as and just the nuance of individual cultures and cultures interacting and the melting pot that is America, right? Um, for a lesser filmmaker, this would be a minefield of a film to really compare these not compare, I guess is the wrong way, but to put these two stories of oppression that the Irish faced and then African Americans faced, and to mesh them up in a way with the story is a really really unique and smart thing to do. That like I said, I don't think most filmmakers would know how to handle. I'm glad that this was done by a filmmaker like Ryan Coogler because he is really, really smart and clearly understands all of the implications of the history with using African American heritage and Irish heritage and about how they are both face a lot of oppression, and it culminates so well in this story.
Yeah, I'm like very glad that we were able to have like this like big blockbuster like go to the movies get your popcorn type movie, but it's so like rich with its themes
Yes,
and like the way it incorporates like the history and like cultural aspects of music is like the main
yes.
plot. Like the way that incorporates all of that is just I thought it was really like beautiful.
No, and Ludwig Göransson did an
Oh my
incredible
god.
job scoring this film. He is a master right now. I mean,
I
he
think
at the
the
top of his abilities. It's crazy to think he scored this film. When you listen to Oppenheimer and then listen to Sinners, to the fact that the same guy scored both of those is crazy.
you can even add like Tenet into that, and then I'm
Yeah,
assuming the upcoming score for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is also going to be insane. Where
I'm
it's like
sure.
he has able to do like so much variety. Like this is why he has two Oscars. He really like researches stuff for his music, and in a film where like music is so important, like I think it was incredible how he was able to like incorporate like so many different like generations of music into one score where like it kind of starts out very like like southern classical like lots of banjo, and then as like the film goes on and on, by the end it's like turning into like electric guitar rock and
Yeah,
roll, and it's
yeah.
like all kind of like melded into
And
one.
there's that one song. I think it's "I Lied to You." With
Yeah,
Miles Catton. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Miles
no, I
Catton
think it's
singing.
Catton.
Yeah, he's. I think this is like his first acting appearance in this film.
Yeah, this is his first film he's ever been in.
He is exceptional in this movie, both acting and his performing with music. Unbelievable. I think everyone is talking about. I'm assuming the people listening have seen the movie, so spoiler ahead. But I'm sure everyone is talking about that scene where he plays "I lied to you" in the juke joint, and then we start to see that he has powers, and his music is so incredible and powerful that he's summoning spirits from the past and the future of African music, and it's so breathtaking, especially in IMAX to see all of it unfold that way. You see this like Jimi Hendrix sort of guitar guy appear next to him, and then there's like a guy spinning on a turntable behind him, and the way the music flows in and out of these different eras and genres is exceptional.
Yeah, it's like really impressive how like to like have an idea for that scene and just execute it so flawlessly. And it's like a pretty out there idea. Like I feel like handled by a lesser filmmaker, like it may like the execution may not have come off as well as it did here. And it came off so well here. It's like one of the best scenes of the decade. Like it
Yeah,
is truly like one of a kind. It is like immensely impressive what they were able to like
we're
pull
gonna
off
we're
here.
gonna be talking about that scene for a long
Oh,
time.
that scene, it's yeah, it's so
And I
good.
I
Best
don't
scene in
I
the
don't I
movie.
don't even know if the spirits appearing is the most incredible part. It's when the building starts to burn down around them, and they're all dancing there, and you see Cornbread sitting there on the stool, still watching the door, and the building's burned down around them. It's obviously just a metaphysical moment that they're having where Remick can see things with his powers, obviously, but it's such an exceptional visual. See the burn down and the smoke all around them, and they're all just dancing. It's beautiful, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's such like a striking image too of like
It is.
everyone is dancing, but like we see them like out in the open, like there's like, like nothing of the juke joint is even there. There's like some pieces of wood burning, but it's like basically all gone.
Yeah, and that
And there's all in that moment. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's
that
so good.
that leads into what I think is probably the scariest scene in the movie. Ironically, the,
I
the
know you're talking
the
about.
pick poor Robin clean sequence.
Mhm.
It's funny because Remick and those two clan members, they pull up with these silly little instruments, like these silly little song. They've got this dumb little smile on their faces, and they're just like dancing in place with a silly little song. But you know that he's a vampire and they're vampires too, and so something about it just kind of scares the shit out of you, you know? Like there's
Deeply
something,
sinister.
yeah, like there's something really eerie about it, and like this like that weird creepy southern guitar sound to it. I don't know how to describe it perfectly, but it's perfect. It's like the Deliverance guitar kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's
It's a
that's a fun way of putting it.
you know, it's a,
But
it's
it's
a
like that
crazy comparison, but you know what I mean.
yeah. It's just really fun how they just like show up and they're like, like we can play, and then they play this song and like everyone's like on their toes, like right, like they don't know what these people's intentions are, and they're
Yeah.
like being very wary because like gotta be careful. But like they cut to Stack, and Stack's, like, really into the song.
Yeah, that's probably
Stack's, like, kind of into it, and
that
that's
that
what I thought that
that's
was really funny.
that's some of the best bit of foreshadowing in the whole movie for sure. Is just Stack is
Yeah.
immediately into what Remick is putting down, you know? Like,
You liked their music, they were
yeah,
singing good.
yeah, no, it's really, really great.
He played a mean banjo.
He did. No, and, Jack O'Connell is just great. He's a great singer, you know?
Definitely.
This movie has a lot of great singers in it. And then after that, we get this awesome sequence where Haley Steinfeld's character Mary goes outside to like because they're finding out that the money situation is bad. Even though that the juke joint's doing well visually and they're having a fun time, they didn't really make a lot of money and they lost, right? So now Mary's going outside to talk to them, and like, dude, they play the great "Will you go, lassie, go." That part is so great. It's so good. It's also a little creepy too, because they're vampires and they're gonna bite her at any moment. And then right when she's about to get away, you're like, "Oh, okay, maybe she is gonna get away." And then when she turns to walk away, right, and she's walking, and you see Remick just kind of get up from the log and just float off the ground, like that is the craziest shit. Like I was in my seat, like I jumped a little bit, and it calls back perfectly to like 10 minutes earlier when we see Remick kind of crash onto the ground in front of that house, and you're kind of like, what the fuck was that, right? Like, but then you see, oh, he can fucking fly. Like the way Coogler revealed the abilities of Remick was awesome. He's got a very good handle on horror and the powers there.
Yeah, I definitely think it was, like, really interesting where, like, the first, like, good like, the hour at least of the movie is setting up the characters. They're like getting this juke joint ready, and there's not a vampire in sight. And then it's not until Remick literally falls into frame
Yeah,
that the vampire stuff starts. And so like you're thinking like like that's a crazy way to just start it. He literally comes from the top of the frame and just like lands on his feet like barely like he stumbles. And you think like, immediately you have questions, and then as you said it's revealed like he can fly. But the best part about him flying right as Haley Steinfeld's character turns around is that it immediately cuts back to the juke joint where Pearline is singing. So
yeah,
it's like you get like a glimpse, like half a second of him flying. He like floats up and it cuts so fast that like going back into the juke joint, it's like trying to get you more comfortable, but now you're terrified
yeah,
while in like the place of comfort, and that's when it like basically gets extra scary.
yeah. No, that is such a freaky moment for sure. And then you see the red eyes form on him as he lifts up, and
Oh, it's so cool.
the energy in the air when Pearline is singing, is it like the Bad Moon Rising and
Pale Pale Moon.
Pale Pale Moon? Yeah. Oh my god! And everyone is chanting and singing, and dude, the energy in there
They're all
is
stomping.
oh my
Oh.
god! Like it's like something's about to pop, and it finally does, and it's fucking Michael B. Jordan's neck. And oh god, dude, like insane, insane stuff. And at this point in the movie is when more of the vampire stuff comes into play, and I loved that Coogler used the classic vampires have to be invited in thing.
Oh my god, yes.
That is
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
is such like a silly, campy like thing that came. I have no idea when exactly that spawned for vampires, but it's such a fun, kitschy thing, and he used it so well. It isn't stupid for a moment in this movie. It's just scary, you know. When
Yeah.
when Cornbread stumbles back over, and it's like, why do you need to be invited back in? You've been pushing past us all night long. Like, come on, like,
Why all of a sudden you need to ask permission? Just come on in. And he's like, well, it wouldn't be very polite if
yeah.
I just came on in. It's like, well, why do you need to be polite? It's like, because we're being kind to each other. Both times I watched it, my theater erupted into laughter
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
cornbread scene of him asking
he's
him to come
great.
in. That's so funny.
For some reason I am forgetting the name of Cornbread's actor, and it's upsetting me.
Omar Benson Miller.
Omar Benson Miller, yes. Omar
Yeah.
Benson Miller has been putting in the work for like forever. Like he was in 8 Mile and like American Pie Band Camp. Like he's been around.
Wasn't
and
he in, the first Michael Bay Transformers movies,
yes,
right?
yeah, he was. Yeah. And I think he voices one of the Ninja Turtles in one of the shows. I'm pretty sure. I think he's Raph in one of the shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's been putting in work for a long time. It's cool to see him get a role like this where he both gets to do a lot and be a lot. I mean that when he in that same sequence when Michael B. Jordan is about to hand him his money and he just pulls him out and you see his teeth form and his eyes turn yellow and oh god,
And Michael
crazy.
B. Jordan immediately whips out a gun and gets him, like, just in time, like,
Right
shoots him
in the
right in the
face.
face.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
it's
he
beautiful.
gets up, and you can, like, see, like, where the bullet tore through his
That
face, and he gets up just fine. He's
that's
like, "Eh."
that's something I really enjoyed about uh the little vampire details was I don't think it doesn't seem like Remick has the ability to heal wounds like that. You know, I think it's interesting that Remick can stop you from dying, right? That's what it said. Like, oh, I could save her from her fate, all that stuff. But it doesn't seem like he can fix these like really obvious and gross wounds that is on everyone once they get bitten. You know,
Yeah, like,
like
they're stuck with that forever now, it
yeah,
appears.
and I think that's very symbolic of what Remick gives you. You're like, yeah, you're alive, quote unquote, but you got a big chunk of your skin out of you forever, basically. Like you've
Yeah,
lost a
you
piece
forever
forever.
forever
Yeah,
have that, like, piece missing of you, yeah.
exactly. And
That's a good way of putting it.
shortly after this, we get the Rocky Road to Dublin sequence, which again in IMAX, it oh god, it's insane. I mean,
Like,
it's
they're just all spinning around, and, like, everybody's, like, so into it, and he's, like, doing, like, a little, like, Irish, like,
yeah.
jig, like, dancing,
And it's also
and it
it's like
is
it's just
so
spooky
funny.
enough, you know?
Yeah, it's spooky and funny.
Yes. The
So it's
way
like,
the way everyone is just so into it, like
oh, yeah, like, Michael B. Jordan, stack is just, like, clapping and having a hell of a time
yeah,
there.
no, they're loving it. And I think that visual there's a quick shot where Smoke walks out the front door and he sees them all dancing. And you see him off in the distance and it looks freaky as shit. And I think in a way it kind of parallels the shot we were talking about earlier where and they're when they're singing "I Lied to You" and they're all dancing as the building burns down around them. And now
Mhm.
now now they're doing like the Irish dance but it's like fucking freaky and sinister and it's not really like it's all being led by one guy. Whereas before it was something they were all feeling. With that song before, it's just this one guy is kind of taken over the whole thing. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like it doesn't feel, like, natural, like, it's like everybody's involved, it's like clearly he's in control,
right?
even though,
Exactly.
like, outwardly it would look the same.
Yes, exactly. You just nailed it right there. The visual storytelling is off the charts, without
Oh my
question.
god.
Um,
It's I think the strongest aspect of this film is just the fact that, like, it's kind of perfect casting for everybody. Like,
yeah,
everybody gets their moment to shine, like, in a performance and as a character, because you have, like, a cast of, like, Lee Jun Lee, Jamie Lawson, Omar Benson Miller, Delroy Lindo is
He's
incredible.
fantastic.
Uh, obviously Jack O'Connell, Wunmi Mosaku's really good, Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan twice, who gives, like, 2 different performances, like,
Yep.
each twin is very, like, unique, and then, obviously, as we said, in his first performance, Miles Catton, who, like, is easily I feel like the best performance, like, best part of the movie.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. He's the heart of the film for sure.
Yes.
And I'm just so certain that Jamie Lawson is on the cusp of stardom. I really think it's just a matter of time until she gets a big role that she's like at the forefront of a film. And yeah, Delroy Lindo is phenomenal. Maybe that sequence when they're driving through the cotton fields, or no, not the cotton
Oh,
field.
man.
They're driving, then they see the chain gang
Like,
with
yeah.
in the prison,
Mhm.
and he's
Well,
talking.
I think they are driving through the cotton fields in
Yeah,
that.
it might be both. But and he's talking about how his one friend got killed by the Klan, right, and how he got strung up at a train station in public, and it's just the the pain, man, that you feel in this dude's heart, in this chest. Like Delroy Lindo is phenomenal. He's mostly known for a lot of just character stuff, but he is a really really strong dramatic actor.
Yeah, I think like that scene specifically when they talk about like his friend that got like lynched on the spot, even though he was completely innocent.
Yeah,
Like the reason that scene is so effective is in the sound design because it's like all basically one shot on Delroy Lindo. What's his character? Delta Slim.
Delta
That's the
Slim.
name.
Yeah.
Was trying to remember his character's name, but it's like all a shot on him, and I think it cuts to Sammy and to Stack briefly, but it's mostly just like one shot, one monologue. But in the background, you can hear the sounds of like footsteps running to get a guy. You can hear like the sound of like rope being pulled. You hear like gunshots. You hear a man choking. It's like you're like hearing the sounds of this horrific event as he's telling the story
Hmm.
because it's so real to him. It's so real to the two other characters sitting in the car, and that makes it with the sound design real to the audience even more than it already is.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really good piece of filmmaking there.
Yeah. No, the filmmaking is excellent. Just that from a craft perspective, this movie is pretty perfect. You know, obviously, style is subjective, but I love it. I think it's fantastic.
There's a lot of objectivity to point out that's good in
Right.
this though.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
kind of undeniable, I feel like.
Certainly. I'm with you on that. I mean, it's one of the best films of the decade, so I'm with you. um,
I'm glad that they were able to like spend so much time in like the first half really setting up all the characters
yeah,
and
no,
everyone's
it
dynamic
takes
and like the culture.
it
Yeah.
takes the time, and it's not boring at all. At no point in the film are you bored. You know?
No, I would have watched a whole film without the vampires, just keep it going about them
Yeah,
opening up juke joints, the struggles of maintaining a juke joint, like, I would've
yeah.
watched a whole movie of that,
No, I was
but
with
then you
you
just
too.
throw vampires in to, like, fuck shit up, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I love when they throw out real quick that the Irish mob and the Italian mob are gonna eventually put two and two together that Smoke and Stack took all their stuff. And I was kind of thinking
Mhm.
like, oh shit, are we gonna get some crazy third act where we get vampires versus Italian mob and Irish mob at the same time?
That would've been the funniest
Yeah,
thing
that would have
ever.
been nuts, but I probably the right decision to leave them off to the side. Um, but that what else I want to talk about really quick? I had such a spot in my head, but we'll talk about um really quick when they're in the water at the end, you know, and
Oh,
and Sammy and Remick have come face to face, and Sammy slams him in the head with his guitar, and that
his
big
silver
yeah,
guitar.
yeah, that big piece of silver is just stuck in his face, and he pulls it out, and the just the gore design on Remick in that is incredible. You know,
Oh, yeah,
you
like,
can
the
see his
practical
full
effects,
teeth.
the amount
Yeah,
of fake blood. Oh my god.
you see his full teeth, and just the way he is all scarred up from top to bottom like that. It looks insane. And then he burns away in I saw I saw the film twice. First time I saw it in a regular format because I wasn't able to get IMAX tickets, and the second time I was able to get IMAX tickets, so I saw it in IMAX. And that sequence when he burns away is you have to see it in IMAX. You have to. You know the way that Miles and Michael B. Jordan are looking at him burn away, and you see the fire go up into the sky, and you hear him scream. What a visual, dude! What a moment! That was like, I like in that moment right there. I felt like, man, Ryan Coogler understands the big visuals as well as anyone in the world right now.
Oh, absolutely, like, it's like a fire tornado even.
Yeah,
It's like
it's incredible.
it's, like, so
And
unnatural,
then
and that's, like,
all the other
cool.
vampires run away, to get away from the sun, and you see them all burning, and it's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, like, they all just get burnt to a crisp,
Yeah,
like
yeah. And then we have that amazing clan shootout where he just slaughters those dudes. And I love watching. I could watch clan members get shot all day long. Um,
it's incredible.
it is, and then I think what probably hit me the hardest is that ending sequence before the first set of credits hit when Smoke is sitting there on the ground, and he's like trying to light up the cigarette.
Mhm.
Or because he took the cigarette out of the guy's pocket.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then Wunmi Masako appears next to him, and her name in the film is Annie, right?
Yeah, Annie.
And she's holding their baby, and it's she calls him Elijah, and it's like that's his actual name. She's like, Elijah, you put that cigarette down and you can hold her. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of the smoke to get on her. And
Oh,
the first time I saw that, I
careful.
didn't really pick up on that, and then the second time I was like, "Oh, shit. Alright." Like, alright, leaving smoke behind, like, in the afterlife, he's leaving smoke behind completely, and he's just gonna be Elijah for his wife and his baby, you know? And
Mm.
I thought that was beautiful, man. I loved it.
It's, like, really touching, and then he just unloads an entire magazine on
Yeah.
the Tommy gun into the
Oh,
Klan
yeah.
member, so
Loved it. Loved it. And then we get that amazing post-credit sequence, which I think we can probably debate all day long if putting it after some credits was the best move. But it
I think just because it serves as, like, an epilogue
yeah,
in a
right.
sense. Like, you could end the movie where it ends, and it's a great ending. It's like an epilogue, like, I it's a very important epilogue, but also it's like the scene starts very, like, really quickly. It's, like, not even a minute of credits, I don't think. So it's like it's not like you have to, like, wait, like, 10 minutes of credits to see it. Like, it starts relatively quickly, so I feel
Gotcha.
like it's pretty fine.
Yeah. So we go into in the '90s now, and we see Sammy's got his own club called Perlene's, which is beautiful. Um, and
And he's
then
played by Buddy Guy.
yeah, Buddy Guy, the legend. And then you see Stack and Mary come walking in, and dude, that sequence. Oh my god.
Chills.
Stack leans in close to him and he smells him and he's like, "You ain't got much left on this earth, huh?" And like
Mm.
you could just smell the death on him and he's coming in, and he offers to like turn him into a vampire and keep him alive forever, and he looks at him and he's just like, "I've seen enough of this place," and oh fuck,
It's
um,
so good.
it's so
It's
good,
so
man.
good.
It's
And
so good.
he still has the scar from being, um, struck by
Yeah,
Remick,
yeah,
who also, like, whenever Remick in, like, full vampire mode, he just inexplicably suddenly has, like, crazy long and sharp
yeah.
fingernails, which I
Love
thought
it,
was hilarious.
love it. Yeah. Um, And then yeah, he plays that song "Traveling" again for Stack, and
Mm,
when they they keep the same audio of him singing, but they show them in the car together. And when Stack initially got so excited to hear him sing for the first time, that is such a beautiful moment. And it's like they were so close, and but it's weird how he's still alive, but he's gone. Like
mhm.
that isn't the same Stack anymore. They don't really have that moment. Obviously, Stack feels that way, but it doesn't seem that way to Sammy anymore. It doesn't feel the same.
Like, it's changed, but, like, it's still like, as Stack says, like, it's the real. It's, like, the
Right.
real music, but it's also, like, the real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's oh man, and then he says, Sammy says to Stack, before all that nonsense happened with the vampires, that was the best day of my life.
Mm,
And Stack agrees with him, and he says, because it was the last time I saw my brother and the last time I saw the sun. And like, dude, shit,
mm.
man. That was like
So good.
that was when I knew like, yeah, this is one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen in my life.
And
Like
and
this is
what was the
perfect.
line? It was like, "And for those few hours, we were free."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
Oh god, dude. Oh, I know saying "oh god" over and over again isn't exactly the best analysis, but it just the way that made me feel, man, like beautiful.
The movie just hits
It really
in
no
all the
the
places.
sc-
Emotionally, filmmaking,
the s-
awesomeness.
the script is perfect. Like that is that
It's so good.
you can only create something like that with a perfect script, and that's exactly what Coogler did. It's amazing.
Mhm.
All right, and continuing things along here, we are going to get to our second segment, and that we're going to talk about the Paul Thomas Anderson film from 2012, The Master. Um, like I've mentioned before, I'd only seen one P.T. Anderson, which was There'll Be Blood, which is an awesome movie. So this was my second P.T. Anderson, and I really, really enjoyed this. Isaac, why don't you take it away, my guy?
Okay, so I am a massive Paul Thomas Anderson fan, as previously mentioned on uh, previous episodes.
Yes, yes.
This one is one of my favorites. The Master, I feel like, is a really interesting one because I feel like it's the one that's like the most like cerebral and into like the mentality and what's real, what's not kind of deal, as opposed to a lot of his other films, which are pretty like relatively straightforward. So I feel like it stands out in that way, where it plays much more into like the mind games of it all, and more importantly, it has two absolute powerhouse performances from
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes. Philip Seymour
The
Hoffman
way,
is insane in this movie.
oh my god, this it's probably his best performance, but there's also like 14 other films. Like he's so good in everything. Like it's kind of hard to like pin down a best Paul Thomas or Philip Seymour Hoffman performance,
Yeah.
but I mean right now I'm leaning probably the master.
Yeah, it's absolutely not his best performance, but I think about him in The Big Lebowski, and
Mm,
I think about him in Mission Impossible 3. I'm not a big Mission Impossible 3 fan, but he
I
is.
am.
I know you are, but he is he is amazing in that movie. I
Well, as you watch more Paul Thomas Anderson films, he's in a few of them. Like he's in Hard Eight, he's in obviously The Master, he's in Magnolia, he's in Boogie Nights. So he'll get some more incredible. He's really good at Boogie Nights too.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, he's a funny
But
dude.
yeah.
He's in that movie Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller and Sarah Jessica Parker, which is like a
Hmm.
really stupid comedy, but it's where I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the movie that popularized the term sharded.
What?
Yeah, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is the one who coins the phrase. So there you go.
Okay.
But
That's crazy.
back to the
But back to
master.
the master. So the master is for those who don't know, it's the main character is Joaquin Phoenix and he plays a guy named Freddie Quell and he's like this like heavy drinker who's like just out of World War II. He served in like the Navy and so he's like got bad PTSD. He's like all messed up and he gets lured into this cult led by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who plays a character called Lancaster Dodd,
Yeah,
and he just stumbles onto this like ship that's like ported. And there's like a wedding going on. He just kind of walks in and
I
he's like, "Hey, what's
love
going on
he
here?"
he literally just stumbles in. I loved
He just walks in,
it.
and then and then that's like the inciting action. He gets kind of like taken in by the ideas of this cult, and it's like under the guise of like, oh, he's like got this new religion. It's like this is like the new book that's going to be like the next Bible, and so it's like all about like reconvening with your past lives and like your ancestors. And so you already have a film that's like about like going into the recesses of your mind. And it's so interesting because it's set so deeply in the point of view of Freddie Quell, who in his mind is really messed up. So there's like scenes that happen that like are they real? Are they not? There are some scenes that are very obviously not real.
Yeah,
There are like scenes that like go in and out of being real. And it's the way it's all presented is all presented like very like straight nosed, like very normal. Like it's not immediately obvious what may or may not be real. And I think it's up for debate what scenes are real. Like I
yeah,
think I'm probably like when I watch it a third time, I'm sure I'll find another scene that like I'll think of like, is that real? Is that fake? Um, and that's something I love so much about it.
right. Like I definitely don't think those ladies all of a sudden got naked while Philip Seymour Hoffman was singing. Don't think
Oh
that
my
was
god, but when
real.
he was singing was so
It is
yeah,
so
it's
good.
like because Freddie's like so like sex crazed in his mind,
He's
and
just he's a pervert, bro. He's an
he's a
absolute pervert.
pervert. Oh, it's like he's specifically like a sex crazed pervert predator, basically, because he's
Yeah.
like going after this girl who is not 18.
No.
Like this guy is like detestable, but you're in his mind, and so you see the world, this like weird world of this cult through the mind of an already crazy guy, and it's like it's so unique and it's
Listen,
all captured in like some of the best visuals. Like all of Paul Thomas Anderson films look amazing, and he is the cinematographer for a couple. Robert Elswit is a cinematographer for a few. This one I believe wasn't either of them. I believe it was two guys. It was the what are their names? Oh, right here. Yeah, it's Mihai Malamer Jr. and Barry Eidenine. I think
we're
I'm saying that right. Probably not, but it was two guys who have cinematographer credit. But like the way everything has such like a nice texture to it, it's like so 50s and like
the colors are great.
gritty, and but it's like gritty, like texture wise, but the colors are like very vibrant.
Yeah.
It's like got like a very unique look to it. And like there's one shot where there's a lot of shots of like water, and the water is like very vibrant, like the waves are crashing like behind this boat. But there's a shot of like Freddy laying on like the top of this boat, and he's like asleep, like passed out drunk in the sun on this boat. And like the sailors on the boat down like on the main deck are like chucking like tin cans at him. And that shot is just like, it's my backdrop on Letterbox for us. I'm looking at it right now, but like the way it's all framed is like amazing. It's like one of those shots. It's like one of those like wow shots, you know. And then another shot that like comes to mind is there's a shot from inside the house that they like kind of make like it's like the HQ for this new religion, and it's from the inside of the house, but it's through a window, and they're out at like a dinner table outside, and the curtains are drawn, but there's like a gap where the curtains aren't there, and it's right through the window, and you just have Philip Seymour Hoffman sitting right in the clear window, but everything else is like either behind a wall or obscured by the curtains, and like this, oh, it's
The-
so
that's
good. It's
that's
such a
when he's
pretty
uh
movie.
that's when he's having Freddy just like walk back and forth in that room over and
Yeah,
over again, and tell him like what are you feeling on each wall or whatever the fuck. And Freddy's just like going insane.
he's going
um,
in the whole movie, but yeah, that scene specifically, and it's like Joaquin Phoenix like is like a very like physical role. Like he's like punching himself. He's like punching walls. He's like slamming his head into like a prison bed. He's like walking around a room and like slapping shit. And he's like very like gaunt. Like I don't know exactly what he went through, but like he must have like gone through some like weight regimen to like lose a bunch of weight, because he looks like kind of like Lou Bloom in Nightcrawler, where it's like very like
you know,
sunken skin.
he in many ways this performance like kind of previews his Joker performance for sure.
Unironically, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's like if it was good.
Yeah, kind of. You talk about the awesome cinematography. I love the scene when he's getting the Rorschach test after he's left the Navy.
Oh my god, that
And just
scene is
and
so crazy.
every single picture is a cock and a pussy to him. But and there's a really great shot of him just sitting in the chair, and it's just Joaquin Phoenix's face, the totally white wall behind him, and then the little bit of like denim blue from his shirt. And I loved the way the shirt looked. Real simple, quick thought, but just loved it. There's so many great shots like that. I love the way there's a lot of great shots of Philip Seymour Hoffman just like shrouded in darkness, and he's just like
Mhm.
sitting in a little pinch of light, and it really just makes him look like this lonely little loser, you know. And that is something I really liked about the movie. 'Cause all these people are complete losers, every single one of them, and
And they
uh,
all have, like, delusions of grandeur, which is like
yeah,
a horrible
and
combination.
like Paul Thomas Anderson, the wonderful husband of Maya Rudolph, just just puts us there really on your own. He doesn't really like force you to realize these people are idiots. It just kind of there's no moment where you're like, aha. And the twist is they're all wrong. It's like you kind of realize as you go, like, yeah, okay, this is just complete like dog shit. Like, like they're
Yeah,
lying
and,
to this
like,
guy. Everything they have to say is a lie. Amy Adams' whole like her fucking her monologues where she acts all like morally superior and smart. And it's like you are just completely full of shit, you know? Like that's what all
I
these people
think
are.
it works so well because they never, like, fully explain what their deal is. Like,
Yeah,
they explain it's, like, convening with past lives, and they, like, have this, like, book, and, like, a lot of the, movie is Lancaster, like, he's writing his 2nd book that
yeah,
has, like, the answers to something,
right.
and it's like they never there's, like, really no, like, exposition in this movie, really. Like, everything's just kinda presented to you in the moment, whether it's, real or not, but like it's all like in your face. Like everything you're seeing is what you get. Like there's not going to be a scene where they're like, "Hey, this is our deal. This is what we do." You learn this like naturally. And anytime somebody does explain stuff, because there's like a scene where Laura Dern is being interviewed and she's like explaining what this new religion is. She uses like such vague and like large terms that like are like all encompassing, where they like really don't pin down specifically what they do. Like they say a lot, like they say a lot of words, but they're not saying anything.
It kind of seems at times that the idea is as long as you've seen Scientology in real life, you kind of understand what the answers already are, you know?
There's
So
a little Scientology, yeah.
you don't really need any more than that at that point, right? And I love the scene when they're talking about how literally like the whole thing is, oh, you can travel back in time through your thoughts and think of previous memories. And the one guy at the first mansion they go to in New York City is just calling him out constantly, and is like, you're a complete bullshit artist. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then he calls him Philip Seymour Hoffman calls him a pig fuck. I just I laughed
That's so
so
good.
fucking hard at that. Like,
He's like trying like Philip Seymour Hoffman is so good at like getting red. Like
yeah.
he's like containing his anger for so
Well,
long.
there's also
And like he doesn't just like yell at him for a long time. He just like gets in a little burst where he's like trying to hold it back. He's like then he's like, you big fuck. And
right,
like
right.
that's it. And then he like contains himself. He's like and he contains himself
And
and he's like, well, you blah 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 blah. Like it's just like that little burst of like
right.
anger. Like you can see it like behind his eyes.
And there's
It's such a masterful
there's
performance.
there's that scene with Laura Dern where he just released the second book, and the books are probably the best paralleling to Scientology in the whole movie. You know, because
Hmm.
L. Ron Hubbard had the just nonsense books. It was just full of bullshit, right? And so that's what his books are now. And the second book has come out, and instead of saying like the think back to the past, it's like imagine the past, right? And Laura Dern is just like can't like comprehend why he would change the verbiage all of a sudden, and then he just like fucking curses at her. He's like, "What the fuck do you want? Like, like, why do you keep asking me about the fucking verbiage over and over again?" Like, he's like, it is such a good painting of what a fraud is like. You know, the second they start to get like questions about their nonsense, they just get fucking angry. You know, they don't really.
Yeah, like you ask this guy questions and he crumbles immediately.
Yeah,
Like changing, like I think you're right. It's like think back to your past, and then he says, imagine your past. Like that is a difference. Like when
yeah, of
you're
course.
making like if you were to be making a religion, like that does matter. Like that is a big difference. And he either A didn't think of that or B thought nobody would notice, and so somebody noticed it, and either he's like, well, you're right, that does change it, or he's like, well, no, it makes sense to me
Yeah, no,
because I have all the answers.
he literally like his exact explanation to her is like, oh, we are recontextualizing the structural analysis. It's like that is literally
What
nothing.
does that mean?
Yeah, like you just said
That's
a
not a
bunch
sentence.
a bunch of nothing. Like, it's so great.
Just says some words at me.
And then when Jesse Plemons' character, is it Val, his son, is just like you can't see, like, this dude is just making shit up as he goes. Like, this is all nonsense, you know. And then at the end, you realize I think Freddy still wants to be friends with the Master Lancaster,
Yeah,
but
he like tracks him down. He goes back and he meets him.
right, like he still wants to be friends, but I don't think I think he's realized like you're a fraud and I don't need you. You know, like I don't need the
Hmm.
master in my life anymore. You know, but that's such a great scene. These two
Yeah,
these
like
two
that.
pieces of shit have realized they don't really need each other, but they like each other.
And I think like the like iconic line from this movie comes from Lancaster in one of his monologues where he says, because they're like he's arguing and he like Freddy shows up to basically tell him he doesn't need him anymore. Like he's like moved on. Like I don't need you to show me the way anymore. And then Lancaster gets angry. He's like, I think I do still need to show you because he just needs to have that power over people.
Yeah.
And he gets so mad. He's like, if you figure out a way to live without serving a master, any master, then let the rest of us know, will you? For you'd be the first person in the history of the world.
Mm,
I think that is
lovely.
a despite him being an idiot, I do think that line.
Yeah, no, that's a great line for sure.
It's like everybody serves something. It's just he wants to be the master. Like he wants to be this leader of this grand religion. He wants the power. He wants the prestige. He wants people to think he has all the answers. But he doesn't because he made it all up.
And one detail I really love, they Amy Adams mentions, and Lancaster Dodd mentions a few times, like, oh, his detractors, or like, oh, these groups that are out to get him. Or like, oh, anytime anyone accuses him of being an idiot, they're like, oh, you belong to so and so organization. At no point in this movie do we even see evidence that any of these things exist. Like, we don't know that he even has a single detractor that's actually like giving him like serious thought beyond like you're an idiot. Like
Well, the
his
police do try to arrest him,
right,
but not
right.
for
It's
not for
because he
like
stole, right? Because he stole a bunch of
yeah,
money. Yeah, because of fraud.
stole money. Yeah,
It's not because, like, he's, like, going
because of
out
the
sa
religion.
yeah, it's not because like, he's saying things people are scared of, like, at no point in the movie do we see the evidence that, like how Amy Adams suggests that his ex-wives are out trying to destroy him, like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't see
We
any of
don't
these
see
people.
that.
Like, if
Like they are thriving for
no,
years.
he like, if anything, he's getting invited to all these different places. He gets to stay in these mansions, get on this nice boat, and then he just gets to take over a school in England. Like, by all means, dude, you're fine. Like,
You're doing
yeah,
good.
like if you have detractors, they're not succeeding. So like, it's such a great broad painting of just a fraud. You know, just a straight up fraud.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I just love like there's so much of the film that is left up to like it puts a lot of faith in the viewer to like get all this
Yeah,
stuff. And I'm sure there's like so many details I've missed.
yeah,
And I think that's what's gonna make it so good on rewatching. Because I liked it even more the second time around when I watched it a few weeks back. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna like it even more the third time. Like it's just one of those movies that is just so like layered in a lot of things, and there's like little nuances that you're gonna pick up on every time.
yeah.
Like you could watch this movie like 10 times, and on your 11th time, you're probably gonna notice something. You're like, how have I never noticed that before? It's just like one of those films, you know?
Yeah, like I said, this is only it's only my second P.T. Anderson, but it seems so far he is not into hand holding with his stories. He
Oh,
expects his audience to figure it out, and I appreciate that. We are
I
unfortunate.
mean, you've seen There Will Be Blood, and like There Will Be Blood, like the first like 15 minutes, and it's just they there's no talking.
Yeah,
Just
it's
seeing
just
Daniel
set up.
Day Lewis, and like everything they say, like you gotta be paying attention. Like I said, places faith in the viewer to like know what's going on.
Yeah,
Like
no, it
you
does.
and you're extremely rewarded.
Yeah, no, it does
It's
seem
yeah.
like these days we're losing more and more people who are just kind of willing to let the audience be smart. It's get
I do think
I don't mind in
I
your
do
face
think
filmmaking, but I do think we need those kinds of stories like that
no,
BT
in your
Anderson is
face
telling.
filmmaking is absolutely like it can be done very well. Like I
Yeah,
think the substance, like you know what the substance is about. I still think it's a really good movie.
yeah. I
Like
mean, in
your face.
we're gonna mention I'm gonna mention him later again, but I mean, I'm literally a Paul W.S. Anderson fan, so I
Oh,
can't,
very in your face.
yeah, I can't sit here and say I'm not a fan of in your face filmmaking. I am, but we definitely need these subtle storytelling masters like P.T. Anderson. All right, and here to close things out, I figured we just real quick talk about what we're thinking about watching. Isaac, why don't you go first?
I've still been watching some David Cronenberg. I've seen a few now. Obviously, I want to watch some more. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I think I want to tackle one of his bigger ones. So probably The Fly. That's probably what I'm thinking. And then since it's a new month, new things get added to streaming. So kind of just browsing my list of films I really wanted to watch.
Yep,
So I found some more Ridley Scott films I haven't seen, like Hannibal, Body of Lies, Matchstick Men. Three new, not new, but three movies from Catherine Bigelow that I haven't seen got added to Criterion Channel. So I'm really excited to watch like Strange Days, which I've heard great things.
yep,
Um, the one Christopher Nolan film I haven't seen, Insomnia, just got added. So I'm excited to watch that. And I'd like to pretty soon finish out the last couple films of Terrence Malick's filmography because I have a couple more to go. I love him. And lastly, what I'm probably going to watch after we're done recording this is The Ninth Configuration, which is the second movie by William Peter Blatty, who directed The
yeah,
Exorcist 3 and only made two
yeah.
movies. He only made two movies, so I want to watch the
Uh,
other movie because I love The Exorcist 3. Jared, I know you love The Exorcist 3, so
uh,
I want to watch this movie.
the ninth configuration is awesome. You're gonna love that one.
I don't know what it's about. I just see the poster.
It's just a bunch
I'm
of
going in blind.
dudes in a hospital. That's all you need.
Bunch of dudes in a hospital.
Yep,
Awesome.
yep,
My
yep.
favorite type.
Absolutely. Well, lately I've been watching a lot of Paul W.S. Anderson, like a
As
ton.
mentioned.
I think I've watched like 5 of his movies in the past month or something. Um,
You've been on a roll.
I have. His movies are easy to get. They're all over streaming. You know, there are a lot of Blu-rays. So I just recently got
Oh,
a Blu-ray.
I watched like 7 Paul Thomas Anderson films like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, no, but I just got Three Musketeers on Blu-ray. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I also got Spike Lee's Inside Man on Blu-ray. I'm
Oh, I
definitely
need to
gonna
see
check
that.
that out. That's a Denzel I've been meaning to get around to for a while. I got Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. Definitely gonna get around to that before Mission Impossible. I want to watch a
Mhm.
bunch of big Tom Cruise blind spots.
Mhm.
I've been eyeing David Ayer's End of Watch, which has been on Max for a while. I got to get to that. I think it's going to leave somewhat soon, so I'm going to get to that. And as well on Criterion right now, I think 2 months ago they added the Chinese crime thrillers collection, and
Oh, yeah.
I've already checked out one of them. It was a pretty cool film called Only the River Flows, which was a cool serial killer noir that I enjoyed. That was very Memories of Murder, which just
Was that
celebrated.
the one that came out, like, recent, like, 2023, 2024?
Yeah, yeah, it's the most recent one in the
Yeah, I
collection.
saw the list, like, that one sounded the most interesting, but I watched one from that one called The Fallen Bridge from that collection. That
Yeah,
was really good, but I need
I'm
to watch
I'm
Only the River Flows.
I'm eyeing the Fallen Bridge next. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go through that whole collection. And
Mhm.
there's also a few Hideo Gosha films on the Criterion Channel I'm looking to watch. Hideo Gosha made Three Rebel Samurai, which is a great film. Um, Bandits versus Samurai Squadron is awesome. And he did another film called Sword of the Beast. He's done a lot of great samurai stuff. If you love samurai and you have the Criterion Channel, check out Hideo Gosha. A lot of good stuff.
Oh my god, yeah. We're not sponsored by Criterion Channel, but it's easily the best I have. It is,
Oh,
like,
I love Criterion Channel.
massive catalog, like, if, like, into watching movies, like, that is the one. If you
And
wanna, like, discover new movies, that's the
I
one.
think it's $11 a month, which is awesome. Like,
Yeah, it was like I think I got it like they did like their yearly sale. So I got it for like a year. It was like $90 for a year. Like that's incredible.
you know,
That's cheaper than most streamers and it has a better like everything.
if
And it
you
streams high
wanna
quality.
if you want to begin a movie watching journey, I think Criterion Channel and Letterboxd in tandem with what you the movies you can discover through Letterboxd, and then you can watch a lot of them with Criterion Channel. It is the bomb. That is the way to
Yeah,
go.
I've watched movies I've never even like I watched The Fallen Bridge. I had never heard of The Fallen Bridge
No,
in my
no,
entire life.
I had never heard of a
I just hit
single one.
play and I watched it. It was
I've
great.
I haven't heard a single one of the Chinese crime thrillers, but I want to. I mean, I love Asian crime thrillers. I'm assuming I'm gonna love
Yeah,
all
I'd heard
these.
of like
So
two and there's like 12 in that list. I'm like, I've heard of any of these.
yeah,
Haven't.
absolutely, absolutely, my guy.
That's great. So yeah,
All right, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. But I had a
yep.
good time talking about the Master and Sinners. I think Sinners we'll be talking about for a long, long time.
Sinners will be talked about for a while.
But no doubt about it. I think we'll get to another P.T. Anderson one of these episodes for sure. I'd like to watch more. So yeah,
Oh yes.
absolutely. All right, Isaac. Hope you had a good one.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
For sure. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.